My name is Yasir Haider, and I'm going to talk about Heidi Roizen today. Heidi Roizen is known to be one of the most well-networked person in Silicon Valley, if not the most. She was born and raised in Silicon Valley and had always been around technology. Her father helped develop the first color videotape. In 1979, she graduated with a bachelor's in English from Stanford University. At the time of her graduation, there were more jobs available in IT versus jobs for people with English major. She targeted that industry and landed the job as the editor of newsletter at Tandem Computer. As the co-founder of Teammaker, to compete with well-funded competitors, she started building her network. She took that talent of networking further and went to make connections and build relations with people who are well known, such as Bill Gates at Microsoft, Bill Campbell at Intuit, and many other influential people. In 1996, she joined Apple as VP of Worldwide Developers Relations. That was a very tough time for Apple. She used her network for Apple's benefit and made personal calls to software developers worldwide. She made sure they stick with Apple at that time. Her connection with Bill Gates came in especially handy when she was able to get Microsoft to build their softwares on Apple's platform. Being burned down by the pace of Apple and the political issues Apple was going through, she left Apple to become a mentor capitalist, a term she created and pioneered it herself. Not wanting to commit full time, she started at SoftBank Venture. Later on, realizing the level of commitment needed at SoftBank Venture, she ended up working full time. Royal Farrows, a friend from Stanford, the founder of Teammaker, describes her as a person who is fun, always likes to smile, and a really interesting person. Farrows further describes her. When you see her with her kids, you'd say, now that's a nice mom. As a couple, Roizen and her husband threw dinner parties at her house, not with the intention of her personal gain, but she wanted to introduce like-minded people so they can help each other for their benefits. She loved meeting people and met them regardless of who they were. She believed it is easier to get to know people when they're not famous than when they do become famous. You already have a relationship with them. According to her research, explained by Adam Grant, there are three types of people: givers, matchers, and takers. Being a venture capitalist, she may come off as a matcher. After all, you can't help everyone. That assessment of her would be valid only if she is using everyone for her own benefit and her own personal gain, and not introducing others within her network. If a giver doesn't keep in balance, it can be draining, counterproductive, and all of their time can be spent in helping others, not focusing on their own growth. However, a smart giver can use their nature of giving to amplify the success and benefit everybody around them. Roizen was a smart giver. As a smart giver, she truly understood the concept of win-win. Realizing the value of time and investment, sometimes she had to turn people down. SoftBank invested in 1 out of 50 deals. Even when she was turning deals down, she provided feedback to entrepreneurs she was rejecting. She set aside approximately 2 hours a day just so she could reply to her emails, give feedback to the people she may never hear from again. Heidi Roizen is a prime example of a smart giver. Now let's look at Heidi Roizen as a persuader. Reciprocity. Based on past favors, the quality and the size of her network, people just couldn't say no to her. They knew her network will come in handy in the future if it already hasn't in the past. Scarcity. People around her knew that she is a rare kind of person, and a person like this should always be in your network. Authority. Her authority wasn't established because of her attitude, but simply because her credibility and her knowledge. Consistency. She wanted to make sure she likes the idea first. According to Roizen, I've got to be sold on that if it's a good idea. I figure if you can't sell me, you won't be able to sell them anyway. That helped her establish her consistency as well. Liking. Her constant cooperation with other individuals and to help them achieve their goals was the main reason why she was liked by everybody. Consensus. Everybody she was connected to wanted to replicate her attitude. Her attitude of paying it forward. Consensus played a vital role in her success as a networker. Just like everything else, being a giver has its drawbacks, limitations, and downsides too. A giver can easily be burned down due to the very selfless nature they have. Roizen leaving Apple is one example. She had to allocate 2 hours each day just to reply to her emails and to provide feedback. Those 2 hours are productivity hours that she could set aside for herself. With so many commitments, she had to mix business and pleasure. Her dinner parties is another example. However, it is a personal preference. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. Givers are always surrounded by takers. When you have such a huge network, you have to constantly reevaluate to ask favor of others, and you have to know who to turn down. The last thing that I'm going to leave you with is a question. Heidi Rosen's network was huge, but was it diverse? Or she just knew everything about one business, but not anything else? Thanks for watching. My name is Yasir Haider, and this was the case study of Heidi Roizen.